All right, guys, a couple questions about the progression and the groove that I posted yesterday. How would I play over that? I love that question. It helps me out. Create a little bit of a lesson around that. So the progression is a B minor 7 add 11, okay? So what I'm really doing here is a B minor, making it a minor 7, and then taking this away, which would be my 5th, and dropping it down to what would be the 4th degree. So basically I have stacked 4s here. It's chordal harmony. So I have a 1, 4, flat 7, flat 3. All right, that's my first chord. And I'm bringing that up a whole step to a C sharp minor 7 at 11. Okay, with that kind of feel. That does give me a Phrygian. Okay, it really is, if we're thinking within a major key structure here, that is a 2 to a 3, right? A 2 minor to a 3 minor, right? Just like that. And then the embellishments, the minor 7s, and then the 11 in there still gives me a 2 to a 3. So it would move us into a C sharp Phrygian. I'm going to come back to that, okay? So yes, that would be C sharp Phrygian, okay? Then just changing that, B minor 7 at 11, my 1, 4, or the 11 right there, flat 7 and flat 3, minor 3rd. If I just change that root note and I bring it up to a C, that just gives me a C 6 9, okay? There is no 7 in that chord. I really like it. So that's a 1, 3, 6, 9, or 2, for a C, and then I bring that up a whole step. What I really like is it has a very similar sound, right? If I were to change the upper notes, right, and sort of like in the upper part of that harmonic structure, it would have a more abrasive key change sound, right? But in the lower, it's not as abrasive, but it definitely changes the foundation because it's changing those lower notes. But so I have this. You know, and you sort of get this unfamiliar grounding when it does that switch, but you're getting these familiar 3 notes up on the top. And then that would be, when it changes to the C 6 9 to the D 6 9, that would change it to a D mixolydian. So you would be playing a C sharp, right, Phrygian, and then changing it to a D mixolydian there, which is really cool. The thing that I would say in this instance that you could potentially break out of the original Phrygian would be that B and that D. Now that D is pretty pronounced, right? The D, the minor 3rd there of that first chord. But when it settles up that way, you could get away with playing a natural minor, a C sharp natural minor. I'm sorry, which means it wouldn't have the flat 9 of the C sharp Phrygian. The D there, I would not advise hitting that note, right? My natural 2nd, if I were to play a C sharp natural minor, with the flat 2 on that specific chord. But that chord happens so quickly that it's almost as though it's dragging, it's taking a C sharp natural minor and just sort of dragging it upwards, okay? And I know that is a little weird, right? And that is the way that I would look at it, because you might be able to get away with some more convenient, unabrupt sounding licks, and especially in that particular genre, right? It's got like a groove to it. It's got a little bit of that like old school, almost like a jazz funk kind of a feel. If you wanted to avoid that flat 2, I could definitely see that happening. Just as a little bit of an offshoot from there, it does sort of remind me of this like 80s rock Van Halen kind of a thing. But if I take like a D, right, and I do a D, I'll just do it up here. So I'm gonna take that D bar chord, okay, I'm just taking that part, the D, the G, and the B string of that D bar chord. Right, and it's sort of like a D and then a D sus4. And I could bring it down a whole step and then go to a G. Right, what I'm doing, I'm still sort of playing around with this 5, 4, 1, and I would play that G major. That sus4 is not going to work if I'm in that D. Right, there's my F sharp, my third of the D. As soon as I bring this down to a C, because it's the 4, it should have a sharp 4 in it. But that feels weird. Sounds weird. Right? So it's not right, it's not as abrupt of a key change, and I don't think that I would play anything other than a G major, maybe just trying to avoid my F sharp when I hit that F in my C sus4, or just sticking to sort of a G major pentatonic. So there are some ways around it to create the sound that you want. I mean, honestly, if you were playing that and if you're playing that first progression we're talking about, right, and that flat 2 sounds good to you, use it. If it sounds a little too Phrygian has a very distinct sound, then raise the 2 or bypass it, to be honest. This also reminds me, for you Stevie Ray Vaughan fans, of Cold Shot. Right, he's really hitting this sort of implying a 4, right, or this Dorian, and if he's, I can't remember if he's actually getting that bottom. I don't think he's hitting that high E string, but so he's really hitting this sort of like root 4, 6, and then down to flat 7, minor 3rd, 5th, right? Now the problem is when he brings it up to the 4, right, he's getting that flat 6 in there, right? That F, when he goes up to that 4, even though here he has that F sharp for the natural 6, right? Broken rule, maybe, but there's something to be said about a key structure being grabbed and moved to, in that case, a 4, or in this case, up a whole step, right? Rather than saying this is the 2 and now this is the 3. It is almost as though you're taking a natural minor and you're just, oh, no, this is actually where it is, right? Oh, we're going to touch a B, but we're actually going to bring it up to a C sharp and make that my natural minor. When we go and we switch to that, C6-9 to D6-9, that chord progression makes a little bit more sense to stay, within the D mixolydian frame. There it is. It's so funny, when you as you're jumping up and you're sort of learning this theory, how you sort of like turn around and just say like, yeah, I mean, you kind of can do whatever you want, which is why I love it. The old saying, learn the rules so that you can break them. Learn the rules even more so you can learn how to break them, right? You become better at breaking the rules. And I think that's a really great way to look at it, really great way to look at theory. I mean, if you're looking at theory as strict boxes to be in, that's not going to be very helpful. So cool. I hope that answered your question. That was a way longer video than I thought it was going to be.